computer. I will share them with you. Written by Naomi Shihab Nye, one of my favorite poets, a Palestinian American. She wrote, "Because men with hard faces do violent things, because fanaticism seizes and shrinks minds, is no reason for the rest of us to abandon our songs. Maybe we need to sing louder. Please rise in body or spirit and sing louder. Ain't no mountain high enough." The words are on the screen, and I apologize to those of you who, I hope you can read them. That was fast. There. There you go. Feel free to move around if a tall person is in front of you.
There's no sound. I don't think we're getting the sound. Okay. Because there ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from coming to you, baby.
Yeah, they're on the chorus.
Yeah. Ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you, baby.
Oh no, darling, no wind, no winter's cold can't stop me, baby. No, baby, 'cause you. My love is alive, way down in my heart. Although we are miles apart, if you ever need a helping hand, I'll be there on the double just as fast as I can.
Don't you know that there ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you, baby. Ain't mountain high, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you, baby.
For those of you who are here for the first time, we recognize that we have some lacks in our technical abilities for this room, for this sanctuary, and actually we are.
Patty wrote in the description of her message today, "When have you needed to make a decision, but all the options held risk?" So that recalled to mind a technique that Tara Tak, the Qigong instructor that was here a couple weeks ago, told us about when we can't make a decision. So I want you to all practice this with me, and then you can decide at coffee break, whether you want a cake or bagel. Or it'll help you decide what to do with your life, okay? Just take your hands and you just tap where your shoulder meets your neck. Tap it really hard. There you go. Okay, doing good. Now your mind should be clearer now. And this is a great technique next week when you vote for your decision, whether you want option 1, option 2, or option 3. And if you're feeling especially indecisive today, you can continue doing this while I read our mission statement. We are a compassionate spiritual community that celebrates diversity, nurtures the personal and spiritual growth of all ages, shares our gifts, promotes justice for all, and serves the world we live in. Are there any people that are here for the first time today? You don't have to, you'll get a chance to introduce yourself later on, but we want to mention that you can find out more about us at our website, which is prescottuu.org. And the important thing for you new folks, and for all of us, is to stay afterwards and head over to Davis Hall for refreshments and conversation, and it gives us a chance to talk with you more.
But there's community chat, right? They need to come right back here.
Huh?
Community chat.
Okay, do not linger in Davis Hall today. We thank our pianist, Lena Hubin, our music director, Mary Lou Prince, today our soloists, Tracy Augustine and Reverend Patty, our tech guru, Martin, and all our Sunday morning volunteers. This is a good time to set your phone on silent. There's always a lot going on here, and you can read about it all in the Weekly Peak newsletter, on our website, Reverend Patty's videos, and today there are all kinds of handouts and printouts for things going on out on the welcome table. And I want to especially call your attention to Songs of the Earth, a benefit concert this afternoon at 3 o'clock at Trinity Presbyterian Church. Free will offerings, the proceeds from this will be going to Feed Your Neighbors, the people we've heard from the farmers market. And that's 3 o'clock. Right now, children ages 5 and older are enjoying a lesson across the street at our Faith Development Building. And speaking of Faith Development Building, I don't know how many of you have seen the new playground over there, but the kids are also now really enjoying the new playground that was put into place by our project team. And I'll hope I can remember everybody's names that were on there that were involved in this. There was Fred Krapps, Wilfred, I have the list here somewhere. Wilfred, Norma Meyer, Stephen, Dick Walter, Russ Erickson. And so you have no idea how much planning, consensus building, work, not just the playground, but the parking lot and the front there. These guys put in an amazing amount of time, so thank you for your applause. And here comes Norma. Yay, Norma on the project team. Okay. Yeah. We begin our service in the Unitarian Universalist tradition of lighting the chalice, and our chalice lighter this morning is Tracy Powers. Today, we light the chalice with these words found in a responsive reading called, "We travel this road together." Can we all say that together? We travel this road together. From the busyness of every day, we gather once a week to remember who we are, to dream of who we might become. We travel this road together. This community is on a journey, and all journeys place us before forks in the road. These places ask us to make choices, saying yes to some things, saying no to others, grieving in what we must leave behind, rejoicing in the blessings, often unexpected, that come our way. We light this chalice as a testament to our strength and our fragility and to our trust in the process, even as we fear the unknown, even as whispers of beloved memories draw us deep into our own hearts, even when we see more clearly where we have come from than where we are going. The journey asks us to keep walking. Again, we travel this road together.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you. Thank you. I bring you this morning the greetings of a house finch, lesser goldfinch, an American robin, many spotted towhees, and the two ravens that chase each other about in the trees around our house. I can't help but wonder if there will be some nest making soon, followed by young ravens knocking at our windows. We are also bringing the energy of the acorn woodpeckers, who we are hoping will remain satisfied with the ponderosa tapping and not select our home for their activities. They have chosen our neighbors, and that is a very difficult problem. Together, we are on the edge of a new era. And as I was asked at the Pilgrims Gathering before I began a 500-mile walk last summer, I am asking you to write your intentions and hope for the road ahead. You have in your program a piece of paper, I hope. You have a piece of paper. Anybody need a pen? Okay, we have. This is going to make more people come out for that vote. This is all planned. There is more chaos to come in this service. Just wait. So I'm asking you, people with raised hands need pens. And Hugh in the back needs a pen as well. So I'm going to give you just a few seconds now to write your intention and hope for the coming months and years. We won't be needing these until later in the program, so if you can't think of what your intentions and hope are for right now, you can continue to think for a while. You have a little time. But it's always good, as my mother said, to get things over with when you're asked. As we write these things, these intentions and hope, let us ground ourselves in gratitude, because I've found that is always the best beginning. That gratitude is the doorway that leads us to the best place to be, to the best hope for the future. Are you ready? Okay. Let us rise in body or spirit, and we will sing, "We Give Thanks," number 1010 in your teal hymnal. Thank you. Thank you. And now please join me in saying our covenant. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve others in community. Thus do we covenant together. And now I invite you again into the sound of this bowl, and I ask you to think of what Thich Nhat Hanh, how he describes this sound as a kind of coming home. Let us come home to ourselves and each other. Let us breathe together and feel or remember the feeling of the earth under our feet, the mossy forest floor of other places, the spongy needles of this place, the granite of the mountains, and the sand by the sea. Let us feel the gratitude that we have for this earth that has supported us through all our years. We come to this place of gathering, each of us carrying the joys and sorrows of our lives. In this community today, we have a joy of 62 years of marriage of Anna Bess and Jim Robinson, 62 years. And Frank Beeson is not only home from the hospital and doing well, he is right here. Wow. And we also celebrate Wind Euler. Not many of you know her, but she has been part of our circle, often coming in on Zoom. She finally received her long-awaited liver transplant. So we will be seeing more of her. So let us again breathe together, and we will enter a time of meditation. If there is someone I have forgotten, please come up, or somebody new, please come up with a joy or sorrow that I will bring up at the end of our time. So let us enter into a time when we meditate or come up and put a stone in one of these bowls. I put a stone for my 3 brothers and sister, whom I love very, very much. We also hold John Prince, who had a recurrence of cancer and is a part of the circle of our life right now. Let us hold him, Mary Lou's elder brother. And I want you to know there is cake for all the June birthdays. And it is to celebrate them, but those of you who like cake can also eat it. We also hold especially Patrick Grady, Patrick and Leslie. Patrick's sister passed away last Saturday. Please join me in a spirit of meditation and prayer. Spirit of life, we are here, fully human, feeling the loss of different things in our lives and feeling the joy that comes to us when we are present to this moment, when we hear the sound of the ponderosas and the birds, and when people in our lives reach out in joy and humanness. We ask for blessings of comfort on all in this community who are experiencing sorrow. We ask for blessings on the leaders of this world, that their hearts may be turned to peace. We ask all these things in your many names. Amen. And now I invite you to sing together, Walking, Walking with You.
As John and Rowena collect the offering this morning, let us remember your contributions are a tangible commitment to the mission and vision of this congregation. Your support is entwined with all that we believe and all that we do here. Passing these offering plates, we use bags, I guess. Passing these bags isn't just a practical exercise. Yes, we'd like money, but even if your pledge is paid up, this is a ritual reminder of that form of love we call generosity. So even that dollar dropped in there is participating in this ritual. Your offering also gives to the greater community through our seeds of support. In recognition of Pride Month, this month's recipient is PRISM Network, formerly Greater Yavapai County Coalition. Unfortunately, when I hear the word PRISM, I hear, with my hearing aids off, prison, P-R-I-S-O-N. No, it's PRISM, P-R-I-S-M, like a rainbow. I just heard a presentation by Trinity Klein, and I was so impressed by the multitude of forms of support that this organization provides to the LGBTQ plus community and their allies in Yavapai County. So I encourage you to visit their website, prismaz.net. And now we'll enjoy a little musical interlude from Lena. We acknowledge the generosity of spirit expressed through this offering. What is given in love is received in gratitude. Blessed be.
Before I begin the storytelling for this song, I want you to turn and look behind you at the beautiful quilt that is on the back wall of granite mountain adorned with prayer flags. This is our holy mountain. Thanks again to Chris Parsons and her team, who in this room helped with this beautiful quilt. The footprints of pilgrims crisscross this earth. If they left evidence like snails, a special light could track their movement from one side of this earth to the other and up mountains, always up mountains. Hindu pilgrims climb ever upward to the source of the Ganges to reach into that river and cleanse their spirits with handful after handful of sacred water. I was not a mountain climber, really, until I came here and you began to inspire me. Mostly, I have climbed mountains unaware. Steps take me farther and farther, and all of a sudden, I realize that my path has taken me upward to a place from which I must take a leap. These leaping off places can be found all over the globe. One day, after I returned from a long journey, the cherry trees were in full bloom. When we stood in front of our house, a wind blew up from the valley below and caught the shimmering blossoms. As we watched, the wind lifted a great cloud of petals into the sky, and some came over the pond, and we caught them in our hands, a gift from the holy mountain. As we step ahead from this place where our hearts have brought us, we wonder, will the wind catch us? Will angels' arms bear us up on the holy mountain?
Everything I've learned
This morning, I invite you to join me on that mountaintop with the clear view and empty space in front of us. Let us breathe again together. Breathe in, breathe out, enjoying this moment, the clouds, perhaps some falcons flying high, the solid granite of the mountain under our feet. And now let us look around this room at our companions. They are breathing too, breathing in this fine air, looking out at the far view, wondering what lies ahead. I believe that we are in such a place right now as a congregation, and some of us are in this place in our personal lives, as often is revealed in joys and sorrows. For this time, there are so many adages that I believe come from life experience that say things like this: when one door closes, another opens. In the life of Granite Peak Unitarian Universalist congregation, a door is closing on our shared ministry, and another is opening on a new era for you and for me. As I thought of a door opening, I couldn't help but think of the Pilgrim's Mass that I attended a year ago in Le Puy-en-Velay in France. After the Mass, the floor literally opened up. Slide, please. It was a floor we had walked over. This floor opened up. Then, next slide, we went down and down the stairs. And then, the next slide, we went through the arches that took us out of the cathedral to more stairs, in through the village and onto the pilgrim's path that eventually led to Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port at the foot of the Pyrenees, and up over the mountains and across Spain to Santiago de Compostela. And hidden in the clouds, you can't really see it, is one of the worst storms they had had in years, lightning and thunder and rain that would last the entire day. And today we are here together in this sanctuary in Prescott, Arizona, on the edge of a great adventure, just as I was in that cathedral in France just a year ago. As the pilgrims arrived in that place, the priests gave us pieces of paper. Does it sound familiar? Pieces of paper to write our intentions for our pilgrimage. I sat on one of those hard benches, feeling some fear. I was alone. I still had jet lag. And the day before, I had misplaced my phone and then found it again, but after an hour of misery. I was holding the fear of more mistakes I knew I would make, and I did. You heard about my getting lost in the forest that was filled with wolves. But holding that fear and knowing I was going to make mistakes, I struggled with writing my intention on that piece of paper, and I held it through the priest's sermon, which happened to be on forgiveness. And I had a lot of forgiving to do of myself. I kept thinking, what was my intention for those 500 miles? And I ask you, what are your intentions for the next months and years? So I'm asking you to return to that piece of paper in your program. Does anybody need a piece of paper? I didn't even ask for that. Nobody's owning up that anyway. So I'm going to give you about 30 seconds. We're just going to take a breath together, thinking of the intentions for the next months and years. Give you a little time to write. And then, when you have finished writing, I invite you to come, if you are so inclined, and put your paper up on one of these places where we have the bowls. And they can pile up, it's okay. But if you're okay with that, I'd love for you to bring your intentions up. So I'm giving you 30 seconds. And John Feder is gathering pens. If you already have it in your purse, that's okay. Wow, they keep coming. Thank you. John. And those of you who still have your paper and you can't think of what to write and you think of something, at the end of this service, there will also be an opportunity to come up. So in this space, and during this Pilgrim's Blessing, which was early in the morning, after we had written our intentions, the service continued until it was time for the blessing. I really wanted this blessing. We pilgrims were called up to make a circle at the front of the chapel for a blessing of safety. He asked what languages we spoke. There was Polish, there were many languages around that circle. And the priest blessed us with safety, that we would find what we were looking for, that we would not feel alone on this journey, that God, or maybe translated for Unitarian Universalists, or the universe, or the holy wind would be with us, as would our fellow pilgrims. I wonder if you have ever received a blessing. I received one during my first week at Granite Peak. The earth-centered group of women came and cleansed me with sage, and then cleansed all of this space. It didn't help the technical difficulties, but it did help the spiritual aspect. And during that time, we set intentions for good work of being in tune with spirit, or that is how I interpreted that time. It was a blessing, a good beginning. My family has a tradition of blessing. Each year, my father would give us a father's blessing, one at a time, and a special one if we left to go away. And it was natural for us to end our letters to each other with a blessing. May you be well. Throughout my ministry here, you may not know it, but you have been receiving my blessings in cards and in my messages when I wrote, "May you be well," or sometimes, "May you know that you are loved." I didn't want this to happen, but you probably guessed it would. Oh my gosh, okay. And in the past couple of weeks, as I have talked with some of you, and especially I've been concerned with some Spanish-speaking families and have been talking with them and helping connect them. And I have received blessings, even from those of you who may never use that word. When I talked with one mother and her daughter as we said goodbye, she hugged me tight and would not let me go until she gave me a long blessing for the road ahead, a blessing for this time. She prayed that I would have peace and strength and faith enough for this new step. She was expressing her intentions for me through prayer, through a blessing. I have come to believe that blessings are a good practice for Unitarian Universalists, and they are a part of my life with Mary Lou. 2 weeks ago, before I left my friend's bedside, only a couple of days before she died, I asked her, "Would you like a blessing?" She said yes, and we gathered with her daughters around her bed and spoke the words that seemed right for that moment. Blessings emerge in the moment. They are words for that time when we stand on the mountaintop, pondering the leap ahead. I also believe that words of thanks can be blessings. I felt a blessing when I gathered with Suki Jones and our worship team on Wednesday, and they expressed their thanks to me. Letters of thanks are comforting, I believe, in our pockets before we take a big step. So I wonder, what blessing would help you in this moment? What words do you have to say to others? What words would you like to hear in this moment, the future stretching ahead of us? What are the words we have to give to each other? As I think of this congregation facing this next step of deciding what to do with this sanctuary, I think of words of thanks for all those through the years who made plans. And we heard from Tracy Augustine that there were 20 years of people making plans. Thanks for those who spent time to dream and make plans, for those who during the pandemic brought their paintbrushes, for those who renewed our front door, for those who created a place for our children to play across the road. Thanks to our project team, our sanctuary renovation team, and then Tracy Augustine, who made that presentation last week, helped by Chris Hawthorne's beautiful posters and slides. So, as we have our community chat today, I'm asking you to think of blessing. Ground your question in thanks. That will be a blessing. Our intentions and blessings help us as we stand on that mountain looking out. And in order to take that big step, we need another element. We need faith. Faith enough to let go and start our flight. As Unitarian Universalists, what could we mean by faith? In my study of mindfulness, I have heard faith described as trusting in the experiences of our lives and then letting go. In thinking about this trust in our experiences, it struck me how important it is to not see our experiences in a negative light. How seeing our life in a negative way undermines our faith in the road ahead, undermines our ability to let go. For those of you familiar with 12-step programs, letting go is an essential part of recovery. I believe it's an essential part of all of our good health. If you have trouble with the concept of faith, concentrate on this. What would it mean to you? What do you need in order to be able to let go? Ajahn Chah, a Buddhist monk and mindfulness guru, said, "Do everything with a mind that lets go. If you let go a little, you will have a little peace. If you let go a lot, you will have a lot of peace. If you let go completely, you will have complete peace." I have a hard time letting go. And I know that letting go can be a sign that faith is present. And letting go is what we need to do when we get to that place on the holy mountain where there is only the way ahead or a long, not interesting walk back. In order to leap from that mountain, we must let go. Perhaps it is not just a coincidence that as I am needing to begin a new phase of my life, this congregation is also on a holy mountain looking ahead. In a week, you will be voting to choose one of the options for renovating this sanctuary. This is your holy mountain moment. The sanctuary remodel will change many aspects of the life of this congregation. And perhaps more important than that, we know going into this discussion and vote that we don't all agree with each other. And for those of us who dislike conflict, this can feel like a disaster. I believe it is an opportunity. This is a chance for us to speak with one another, listen to one another cordially, grounded in gratitude. And it is a chance to accept the outcome of the congregation when it doesn't go your way. This is an opportunity to learn how to be with each other in community. We are doing that work that, done faithfully, this work of letting go, will deepen our community, and within that holds the possibility of beloved community. And that is when the angel's arms will bear us up. To further deepen community in the sense of our accompanying each other, I'm going to bring another practice from that Pilgrim's Mass I attended last year. As we were preparing to go, we were going to let go and enter that stairway, take a step down into the under parts of the cathedral and then out through the arches. The priest asked us if we wanted to receive the intention of someone else and take it with us on our pilgrimage. I took one with me. This was what was written by that person, that everyone in the world would have an immense and open heart. And that taught me I had my own intention, but bringing a complete stranger's intention with me through all those miles of walking was wonderful. So after we extinguish our chalice, I will invite you to come up and pick up someone else's intention and take it home with you and apply some of your hope towards that intention. This practice embodies the reality that we are never alone in our leaping. You are with me and Mary Lou as we take this big step off the mountain, and I will accompany you as you go through the work that is needed to make this sanctuary align with our values. If I am in this country, I will be here for the dedication. We are on our way. Are you ready? Are you ready? Shall we take a leap?
Yes.
A little. Shall we take a leap?
Yes.
Whew. You Zoomers, I hope you're joining in. I can't see their faces. Amen. And may it be so. And now I invite you to rise in body or spirit, and we will sing Wo Ya Ya, number 1020, in the teal hymnals. we had to have a messy ending. For my closing words, we return to that ancient custom of blessing. May you be well. May you find the courage to talk through the differences you have with kindness. May you be grounded in gratitude. May you feel my gratitude for all you have done to support me. And I look at each of you in the past years. May the good works of your lives surround you and give you courage when you have fear. May you remember all of the good you have brought into this world. May this congregation continue to extend itself in many ways into the greater community as a force of compassion and justice. Amen, and may it be so. In the hard world of the shtetls of Russia, Jews supported each other in many ways, and one of those was to offer blessings to one's family and community. Fiddler on the Roof was inspired by Tevye and his daughters, a story written by the famous Yiddish language writer Sholem Aleichem. You may not know him, but when he died in 1916, over 100,000 mourners came out to line the streets of the Bronx. Tracy Augustine and I will sing the song Sabbath Prayer that we've wanted to sing for you for a long time. In it, a father and mother hope for the success of their daughters, part of which would be finding a husband. This isn't so applicable. For some, it is, but so applicable for Granite Peak in 2024. But we hope that you listen to the spirit of this song, which is the hope of a couple living in very difficult circumstances, hoping for all good things for the people they love.
Testing, testing.
May the Lord protect and defend you. May He always shield you from shame. May you come to be in Israel a shining name. May you be like Ruth and like Esther. May you be deserving of praise. Strengthen them, O Lord, and keep them from the stranger's ways. May God bless you and grant you long. May the Lord fulfill our Sabbath prayer for you. May God make you good mothers and babies and you husbands who will care for. May the Lord
So now we extinguish the chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. So, this is the time, if anyone would like to introduce themselves, this is the time to do so. As they are thinking about whether to do this, I remind you that there's cake for the June birthdays that we can bring in here because we have a decidedly not renovated carpet. So if I don't want you to become ill eating cake quickly in Davis Hall, but we need you back here quickly. I also invite you as I invite all of you to come up if you would like to take one of these intentions from someone else back into your life to consider what someone else wants for these next months and years, and hold that hope in your heart. Thank you. And now it is time for you to find your intention. I will find mine and go to the back.